The parable of the prodigal son puts it all perfectly. When the son has left the father and he feels like his life is falling apart, he comes back and he doesn't ask for happiness. Remember the prodigal son in Luke chapter 15. He comes back and he says, Father, I have sinned in heaven, against heaven and in thy sight. Just make me a servant. I don't want comfort. I don't want happiness. I owe you. And then what happens? The father, once you come to God saying, forget the happiness, forget the joy, forget doing all these wonderful things for me, I owe you because of what you did for me. The minute he comes to the father and says, you don't have to be my father anymore, just be my king, the king turns into a father and he says, get out the robe, put a ring on him, put my robe on him, kill the fatted calf, we're going to have a party. He's my child. And that message that in Jesus Christ, this great king becomes your father, is what you have to delight in. And if you look carefully, when it says he delights in the law of the Lord, and then it talks about the godly man being a tree that puts down his roots into the river. What's the river? What's the water down there? It's the law of the Lord. He's delighting in it day and night. That's how he keeps his leaf green even in the heat. Do you know how to do that? Christian friends, do you know how to do that? There's a flute on the ground. It might as well be a pipe. It might as well be a bear trap unless you learn how to play it. Do you know how to play the gospel? Do you know how to rehearse its beauties? Do you know how to talk to yourself about Luke 15, about the prodigal son? Do you know how to think about and rehearse the beauties of it until it makes your heart sing? Do you delight in it day and night? If you do, you'll be like Jesus. Often crying. I tell you something, the gospel, Christianity makes you a sadder person and a happier person at the same time. You get more sensitive. You know, one of the ways that non-Christians have to deal with life, because they don't have this great consolation, is they deny how hard life is. Listen, unless you have this consolation in your life, that's how you deal with life. It'll be all right. That could never happen. I'm sure it could never happen. You kidding? Don't you see? When you become a Christian, you get this consolation and it allows you to be honest. It's no longer repress how hard life is. You feel the pain of the world more than you did before. But you've got a joy and a consolation. My sins are pardoned. They'll never be brought against me. And I'm going to go live with God forever in a new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. You're happier and sadder at the same time. The happiness overwhelms the sadness. That's what it means to be a Christian, and it comes by learning to play the gospel, listening to it, singing it to yourself. That's the only way you put your roots down and deal with the heat. Are you doing that? Can you do that? See the streams of living water. Well supply thy sons and daughters, and all fear of wants remove. Who can faint while such a river ever flows their thirst to assuage? Grace, which like the Lord the giver, never fails from age to age. You can be happy. It's possible. Don't look to circumstances. Don't seek it directly. Instead, look at what you really, really are living for and accept and admit your need for the great gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ, and learn to delight in that and to play it and to listen to it day and night.